Happy Monday! KidNuz is straight ahead, but first, a word from our sponsor.
KidNuz is all about connecting kids to current events. A new domain is all about connecting kids to their own digital creativity. Enter .kids, not .com or .org, but .kids, an online destination for kids to build their own websites, experiment with coding, and maybe turn a great idea into a booming kid-centric business. Think Finley's facepainting.kids or Tommy's tutoring.kids. Help bring your kids' creativity and ideas online on a .kids domain as a gift or as a fun family project. Visit hello.kids/kidnews today for specially priced .kids domains and all the information you need to get started. That's hello.kids/kidnews.
Good morning and welcome to KidNuz. I'm Tori. Today is Monday, January 8th, 2024. And we begin with what just might be the definition of a naughty dog. Cecil is a golden doodle from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, who saw fit to eat $4,000 in 50s and 100s off his family's kitchen counter. Clayton and Carrie Law had just withdrawn it. 30 minutes later, it was gone. Half into Cecil's stomach, the other half ripped to shreds. So what's a family to do? Wait for it to come out, of course. Over the next 3 days, the pooch purged the money, either by throwing it up or pooping it out. His humans had to clean it, match serial numbers, and rebuild at least 50% of each bill for their bank to accept it. It was a messy mission. When all was said and done, they recouped more than $3,500 worth. Their bank told them it happens more often than most people think. Have you seen it? Yesterday, federal investigators asked for the public's help in finding part of an Alaska Airlines plane that fell off Friday night. The midair scare took place minutes after the flight departed Portland, Oregon, bound for Ontario, California. As the jet reached 16,000 feet, a cabin door panel blew out, leaving a hole the size of a refrigerator in row 26. The youngster seated closest lost his shirt to the suction, but no one was seriously injured, and the plane landed safely. The Boeing 737 MAX 9 plane in question was new, put into service just a few months ago. The FAA grounded all MAX 9s in the U.S., a move that affected 171 planes flown by Alaska, United, and other carriers. Each must be inspected, which takes between 4 to 8 hours per plane before being allowed back in the air. Hope was high that New York City could break its nearly 700-day snowless streak this weekend, but that was not to be. A powerful nor'easter blew in and dumped as much as 14 inches of sledding perfect powder across the eastern seaboard up into New England, but the Big Apple only got a few flakes. In fact, the city hasn't seen more than an inch of snow since February of 2022. This storm, the first big one of 2024, is now on its way out to sea, but another is ramping up. More than 40 million Americans are in its path from California to the Carolinas. It'll last through Wednesday. College football is just hours away from crowning its next national champion. Tonight at 7:30 Eastern, number 2 Washington takes on number 1 Michigan for a meeting of the unbeatens at NRG Stadium in Houston, Texas. If the Wolverines win, it'll be their first title since 1997. It's been even longer for the Huskies. Their last championship was in 1991. Tonight's matchup wraps up a controversial year for Michigan. Coach Jim Harbaugh got hit with 2 suspensions, one for alleged recruiting violations, and the second for a suspected scheme to steal opponents' signs using scouts and recording equipment. Also, speculation is high that Mr. Harbaugh will ditch his alma mater and return to the NFL as soon as the game is over. A 13-year-old from Oklahoma accomplished a historic human first over his holiday break by triumphing over Tetris. On December 21st, Willis Gibson of Stillwater advanced so far in the original Nintendo version that it froze, beating a game considered, until that moment, unbeatable. Artificial intelligence had achieved the feat, but until this teenager came along, never a person. Willis has since gotten a lot of publicity. The creators of Tetris even surprised him and nearly left him speechless during a Zoom call with NBC News. But breaking records and making headlines doesn't necessarily get you a pass from helping out around the house. According to the New York Times, when its reporter called for an interview, he had just finished emptying the dishwasher. Still to come, twins born not just on different days, but in different months and different years. But first, a shout out to Victoria and Natalie Grabscheit of Mountain View, California, from your mom and dad. They tell us you've been loyal KidNuz listeners since you were little and hope you always stay curious and educated. KidNuz was created with curious kids in mind, so we hope so too. Now, today's quiz. What is the type of plane grounded after a mid-air mishap last Friday? Boeing 737 MAX 9s. A Pennsylvania pooch chewed or ate how much money off a kitchen counter? $4,000. Which two college football teams face off tonight for the national championship? The Michigan Wolverines and the Washington Huskies. How old is the first human to take down Tetris? Willis Gibson of Stillwater, Oklahoma, is 13. In today's KidNuz Kicker, twins only account for 3% of births. So what are the odds of twins being born on different days and in different years? According to the Natividad Medical Center in Salinas, California, it may be as rare as 1 in 2 million, yet it happened to at least 2 families this past New Year's Eve. 2 sets of twins, one in New Jersey, another in Connecticut, were born just minutes apart, but on different days, different months, and different years. In each case, one baby was born slightly before midnight on December 31st, 2023, and the other was born in the early hours of January 1st, 2024. All are healthy, and all will have a great story to tell someday. Thanks again to the Grabscheit family of Mountain View, California for underwriting today's quiz. Hello to Victoria and Natalie. And from the entire Grabscheit family, a special heartfelt message of gratitude to Mr. Q and his team, Wilson and Achilles, and all the awesome teachers at Mountain View High School. And high fives to our other KidNuz classrooms, starting with Ms. Duran and her Lions at Stone Valley Middle School in Alamo, California. Ms. Rentz and her Squires at Noble Middle School in Berwick, Maine. And on our KidNuz Parent Council, Ms. Rutherford and Mr. Idless at Chicago City Day School in Chicago, Illinois. We're so glad you tuned in. For ad-free episodes, subscribe to Starglow Media on Apple Podcasts or wherever you like to listen. And we'll see you back here for more KidNuz tomorrow morning.